All right, friends, we're back here on Bourbon Beach. Let's see what we can find today. Only you and I know where Bourbon Beach is. E.H. Taylor small batch. Nice. Let's get this back to the Bourbon Beach Whiskey Room and give it a taste. Hey friends, this is Scott. Welcome back to the Bourbon Beach Whiskey Room and another show in the Bourbon Beach Treasures in the Sand series. Today I've got what I hope's another banger. I have not tried this one yet. I'm going to try it with you guys for the first time. E.H. Taylor small batch. Is it worth the hunt? Stick around and find out. E.H. Taylor, small batch, Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. Now this is still an allocated whiskey in our area. It's coming out of Buffalo Trace Distilleries in Franklin County, Kentucky. It MSRPs for about $50 depending on the area of country you're in. And since it's a bottle and bond, it's coming in at 100 proof. Now the bottle says distilled at OFC Distillery. Now OFC stands for Old Fashioned Copper Distillery. And Colonel E.H. Taylor actually established the OFC Distillery in 1869, and it has since become a National Historical Landmark. I believe in 2013 it became a historical landmark, and it sits there right at the entrance of Buffalo Trace Distilleries. Now E.H. Taylor was not only a banker, but he was also a politician, and he helped legislate the Bottle and Bond Act into law. What is the Bottle and Bond Act, you ask? Let me explain. Now the Bottle and Bond Act was America's first food purity law, and it was enacted in 1897, and it helped set a standard for purity and quality in the bourbon industry. Now up until the 1897 Bottle and Bond Act, some manufacturers were putting in anything and everything besides bourbon into the barrel just to make it look like bourbon. And the Bottle and Bond Act helped put a stop to that. Now for a bourbon to be a bottle and bond like the E.H. Taylor, it has to meet a certain criteria. First of all, the bourbon has to be distilled at the same distillery during the same season, which is either fall or spring. Second, it must be aged for a minimum of 4 years in new charred oak barrels in a federally bonded warehouse. And the third thing, the bourbon must be bottled at 100 proof with no other additives other than water to proof it down. And basically those are the three elements that are required for a bourbon to be considered a bottle and bond. Now the bottle and this tube that it came in, which I guess is the block sunlight, comes with all kinds of interesting facts and information. You really got to get it just to read it. Let me read the back of the bottle for you. Colonel E.H. Taylor small batch. As founding father of the modern bourbon industry, Colonel Edmund Haynes Taylor Jr. left an indelible legacy. His dedication to distilling began at the close of the Civil War when he purchased OFC Distillery, or Old Fashioned Copper Distillery. There, he developed innovative techniques that are still in use today. Made by hand and using the same of Taylor's original methods, this small batch bourbon whiskey has been aged inside warehouses constructed by him over a century ago. Barrels were routinely evaluated to identify those with the richest and most complex flavors. A small batch of these selected barrels were then blended together to deliver a distinctive character that is like no other. It is a true sipping bourbon that honors the uncompromising Colonel Edmund Haynes Taylor Jr. And this follows the same mash bill. This is the same mash bill, Buffalo Trace mash bill number 1, which is the low rye mash bill, which is considered to be under 10% rye. So, mash bill number 1 out of Buffalo Trace. So, let's crack this thing open and see what we've got. America. All right, let's let this breathe a little bit. Give it a few swirls, let it breathe a minute, we'll be right back. All right, folks, we're back. I let this rest about 5 minutes just to get a little air into it. Let's see what we've got. What kind of nose does this thing have? Okay, typical caramel brown sugar, followed by some oak. Old oak cabinet type of oak, nice. This is reminding me of something though, okay? This instantly makes me think of something. Hang on a second, I'll be right back. All right, so I just got to see something. Got some Eagle Rare 10. This E.H. Taylor reminds me of something. America. Okay, nuttier and popcorn, okay, maybe. All right, but very, very similar. We got to see something here. We got to try something here. All right, I'm winging it here. I'm off script. Okay, so a little bit older oak on the nose here, but extremely similar, okay? Extremely similar. I smelled it right away. Wow, okay, so good old Buffalo Trace Eagle Rare 10. E.H. Taylor small batch. Okay, a little more full-bodied, a little more depth, but these are very close. That's why I got this out, just to see how close they are. But this E.H. Taylor, a little more complex, yeah. Sweeter, more oak, but very close. Okay, we're going in. We're going in for the taste. Let's see what we've got here. A little nuttier than the Eagle Rare, but still very close. You can tell that's Buffalo Trace product, but A-okay with that. I'm okay with that. Everything's good. Very similar, but not exactly the same. So we do have, you can tell it's a Buffalo Trace product, but it does stand alone. I'm pretty happy with it. And yeah, I think it's worth the hunt. I mean, right away you get all those good fruity, fresh, fruity, you know, what would you say? Yeah, really fruity, like almost like a red apple as opposed to like the Maker's Mark green apple. Really good. Red apple, maybe strawberries with a real subtle oak on the end. More like an old oak cabinet rather than like fresh cut oak. Okay, the finish is just what you would expect from a good solid 100 proof quality bourbon. It's not the longest finish, kind of a light finish, but it's still there. Pretty viscous, syrupy, pretty good. Yeah, okay, well, it's just another fantastic Buffalo Trace product. I think the answer is it worth the hunt? Yes, it's definitely worth the hunt. So good luck, get out there and try to find yourself a bottle. I'll be hunting for the single barrel next. Well, that's about all I have now on this one. Thanks for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing, and good luck hunting. See you in the next one. Cheers.